Welcome to I Know It Sounds Crazy, but It's True podcast. I'm the host, BBJ. Let's get into this segment called Situational Antidote, where we pick a subject and tell our story. And today's topic is Market Funny. So I'm going to tell y'all about this story. So me, my homeboy, and my boyfriend at the time, we ends up picking up Angel from the house. And mind you, we wasn't with Angel beforehand. So she's like totally drunk as hell. We're sober. And we all decide to go to Giant because we want something sweet and stuff or whatever. So we was like, all right, man, we hungry as hell. Let's go to Giants and get some cookies because we really want some cookies. We all go. Angel disappears in Giant. We don't know where the hell Angel goes. So we was like, all right, whatever. All of a sudden, now for all those older people who watched the Boomerang before, and it's the big Smurf that be like la 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 la, like the big guy that be running and jumping around or whatever, but he be making hella noise. So think back to that, right? And relate it to Angel. Angel comes out of nowhere with a cart and just jumping. Mind you, it was like a scene in a movie where we're walking down the aisle and all of a sudden we just see her gliding past like she's on the Titanic on a damn cart, talking about, we like, what is going on over here? But she keeps coming back and forth through the aisle. So we was like, we just gonna try to hide. We don't know this fool. And then Angel comes out of nowhere and just starts yelling our name. And we're like, we don't know who those people are, but yeah, that's my story. What about y'all?
Brisha?
Mine was, I guess, when I tell it again, I don't find it as funny to other people as it is to the people who were there. Anybody who knows my brother knows that he's had a multitude of jobs in the grocery store.
I'm honestly just talking about England at this point. They can.
Okay, I thought you were talking about France as well, because I was going to say, I can't think of the actual word in French for black.
But I feel like they have words too, because like, French is not too far off from English. They're both Latin.
I mean, most languages are Latin languages.
So if you tell me you can't put Afro behind whatever country it is.
It should be that. If that's the case, I'm not sure about that. I've always heard of, places like France calling you, if you are a legal citizen there, they call you Frenchman, even if you were, if you're black or Chinese or Japanese or Indian, if you're a legal citizen there, you are seen as French.
But the French got a whole different perspective about a lot of things. So they're really a harsh place to try to depict anyway.
I mean, a lot of black culture actually comes from France, though, Haiti, Haitian descent, owned by the French and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of hard. And even in some parts of Africa speak French,
Yeah.
I want to disagree with you, Levi. It's not that a lot of black culture comes from France. France has adopted a lot of black culture.
So,
because even like in Haiti, and there's a lot of places in Africa that do speak French. That was because of colonization, not by choice.
African American for me is if your culture, if your family comes from Africa and you are from America, you're African American. That's technically what you are. That is African American. Your culture, your family, your generations above you, they come from Africa. That's where your bloodline's from. Like our bloodline's from Trinidad. I wouldn't call everybody that's black African American, because not everyone. I mean, yeah, technically yes, everyone comes. Us black people, we come from Africa. Yes, we come from that. Yes, we do. I'm not an African American. I'm black. Stop saying African American. Don't say people of color either.
You just answered my question. I wanted to ask everybody in there, how do you describe yourself? Do you consider yourself African American? Levi just told us no, he does not.
I mean, sometimes I do, because
that's not the point.
Because it's no option on a form, but now they do have that option now, but they put it as right along with African American. You know what I'm saying? They put it right next to like African American / black / such and such and such and such. But how do y'all feel about like the whole situation? Not to take away from what Angel was asking previously, but how do y'all feel about that whole notion of putting race on like applications?
I've been told they should stop doing that shit. Why does my race matter if I do the application unless you have a quota of amount of people that you have to have? And if that's the case, then your place was probably full of racist and misogynistic practices anyway.
At that point, if I have to put my race, that means if that's something
you worried about how many niggas is up in there.
Factor of me getting hired, I can't, no, and that's racist. Like
nope,
discrimination. Like it's literally the literal form of discrimination. I can't work there. I can't be there because of where I'm from, my ethnic background.
Okay, Brisha, to answer both questions.
Yeah. So when they ask for your race on job, I do not answer. I just say don't say, or I'll put more than 2 races and see what happens. Because I mean, I understand they do it in air quotes. They do this just so they can say,
keep it diverse.
Like we have this amount of this group of people. Yeah, there we go. To keep it diverse. That's what they say. And like, this doesn't count towards your hiring qualification or anything like that. Like, yes, it is. Like, even though it's illegal for them to do that, you can't prove that. They're gonna see it. It's on the application. And that question needs to go, definitely. But what I was gonna say before is I get a lot of people, once I tell them, like, okay, they look at me and be like, oh yeah, Tabriz, you're African American. But then when I go into my background and I'll be like, oh yeah, my mom's family is from Trinidad, my dad's family is from the Virgin Islands, then they're like, oh, you're Afro-Latina. And I'm like, no.
Why did you say no?
Honestly, the only thing that puts me between being Black and Afro-Latina is the fact that my family, they do not know Spanish. The only reason my mom knows as much Spanish as she does is because she lived in the Bronx.
There's
and
everybody Spanish people in New York.
So
everybody knows that.
Yes,
it's New York, baby. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah, but besides that, we don't speak Spanish, so I don't.
Is that the only thing that you're saying?
I'm an Afro-Latina. Honestly, yes. I feel like that's a big part of being Afro-Latina.
I would say it's a big part, but there's plenty of Afro-Latinas, and there's plenty of Latinas that do not speak Spanish.
It's not even like an individual don't speak Spanish. It's like your family. They don't.
My stepmom is Puerto Rican. After her, there's me who speaks Spanish, and the rest of them don't speak Spanish. I'm talking about her sisters. 2 of them speak Spanish. 3 of them do not. None of their children speak Spanish. None of her children actually speak Spanish. She only spoke Spanish with me and my niece. Like, I've always, at least for me, I've always put other, because both my mom's side and my dad's side are biracial. I don't know. I guess because of the fact that I think of African American more so as a mindset. Like, culturally, me, myself, I feel like I'm far from understanding a lot of cultural things that African Americans, grew up on. There are things that, bond them as it's just like, you hear a certain song and you feel like, that's my jam. But if you go into, it could be a Caribbean song and be like, that's my jam. You go up to some Caribbean people and then, be like, oh, shucks, that's my shit too. And you go up to somebody who's not from the Caribbean and they be like, what the hell is this? There are certain things of that. There are certain foods that I've never touched that, are a staple in a lot of Black households. There's certain, lines that are said, like that game. I think it's called Revoke My Black Card. Every time my Black card has been revoked, I'm still Black at the end of the day.
But I feel like that's more based off of the stereotypical situation rather than something that actual is a staple or a cultural thing. The whole Black card situation.
I don't think so. I think that most of that on there is a cultural thing. Because if you look at the people who don't, if you look at the people in the game, let's say we're all playing, right? If someone more so identifies as African American, being American, all of y'all know that. there are just certain things, like I definitely identify more with Afro-Latinas than I do pretty much any other group of people. But that's me and who I grew up around. So that's why I gotta go with, I have never personally checked African American. First, a lot of times people don't view me as Black. Then they hear my voice. Then it's like, oh no, you speak white. Don't get me started on that bullshit. You know, a lot of the things just aren't there for me to say. I actually had a client yesterday. He was like, he was trying to bring up a point, a white Jewish dude, about some cop situation, and he was like, something along the lines of, you not being Black, you should understand. And I'm looking at him as I'm working on his back with my Black ass hand working on his back, saying, how do you say to somebody, you know, you don't know my race, you know, how do you know that I'm not
right?
So to continue on to the conversation as well, my question is to you: do you feel as though, even though we're always going to be the minority, do you feel as though we're more of a minority, or do you feel like the Latino are more of a minority at this moment?
Black people are more of a minority.
In America, they have very, very big families. And that's like a goal for them. And that's not like me being stereotypical. It's when I was in class, that's something that we literally learned about, how different cultures respond to different things. Latinos, they tend to have bigger families. That's a goal of theirs. So just based off of that, I think we will become more of a minority. And
also, the census itself, they say by 2050, the majority will be Latino. Like, that is the majority. So they have to be on the rise, and they are literally way more. If you look at, you know, how it's broken down, I think Black people make up 13% of America, if I'm not mistaken.
Levi, do you agree with this statement, or do you disagree?
I think we are more minority, even in America, and period. We see the poverty level, and we see the numbers of how much we are, like how we are. Like, it's systematic. Like, regardless, we were going to be the minority. We were just brought over here to build this country. So it's like those from Hispanic backgrounds and cultures and stuff like that. Yeah, coming over here to get a better opportunity. So yeah, they're populating more. But I feel like we will always be the minority, period, in any way, shape, or form.
You say that, but weren't we brought over here to be have a better opportunity? You know,
I'm talking about Africans, period. I'm talking about dating back to slavery. We've always been the minority. We will always be the minority because white people make up most of the world. So.
No, they don't. White people don't make up most of the
world. Asian people make up
white
most
and
of the
Black
population.
In the whole world are about even. Asian people make up the most.
They're still white though. That's still a white demographic.
No, they think themselves that. Not according to the rest of the world. A lot of and being from, you know, my grandmother is Asian, from Indian, from India, you know, and a lot of them, she told us the racism that she had to deal with dating a Black man. You know, there were so many people killed over interracial relationships in not only Trinidad but the United States, everywhere. They wanted to portray themselves as white, viewing themselves as the best. So you talk to a lot of Asian people, or how you can even talk to some people, like I got a lot of friends from the Dominican, all Afrocentric features. I'm talking about hair texture, 4C, you know, the stereotype nose, full thick lips. And these Negroes will tell them, no, I'm not Black, I'm Dominican. Baby, that's not a race.
Race is socially constructed, though.
No, No, you're black. You're African. You come from African descent. Where do you look more so like, facial feature wise?
Really?
You know, on hiring lists. Why is that there? When you apply for a mortgage, when you apply for a car loan, that's how they're able to charge you extra on like places like Wells Fargo and loaning companies were able to charge you more as a quote unquote African American or black person than a white person.
Hold on, Angel. One moment.
Okay.
If you are black, do not ever in your life go to Wells Fargo for anything in your life. Do not go to Wells Fargo.
Them damn plantation holding ass niggas.
Continue, Angel.
They are such a plantation bait, yo. Like, for real, like they are the worst. They literally will charge you if I have a 720 credit score and my white homegirl Becca got a 720 credit score. Why am I paying interest of 7.8% and interest of 6.7%? We both have the same credit score. We both have the same job. It's because she checked off white.
So what if I check off white and I show up just black? What they gonna do?
I hope that the application already went through because they're gonna hike the price up on your black ass.
Oh, that brings up another point. What about people who are like transracial?
What about them? So what is your actual question?
Do you recognize people who are transracial?
No.
Like if somebody who is black and then be like, oh,
no,
now
black.
I am Hispanic. Like, can
Society?
you?
I recognize them only because it's their choice to do that.
Society? No.
I guess, like, it's none of my damn business if that's what you're going to do.
Society invokes that one drop blood rule. We're going to keep with that one drop blood rule. If that's how society's working, that's how society's working. You can't just randomly just change and be like, oh, I'm white today, but tomorrow I'm be Asian. Maybe the next day I'm gonna be fucking Hispanic. No, it don't work like that. No. What is this?
I don't believe in that one drop rule.
White man.
That one drop rule is dangerous because there are white people who have, there was some pastors that, passed
that we should follow by
it.
I'm just saying that's how society goes about.
I'm gonna have to throw that into American society.
Aren't we living in an American society at the moment though? They don't speak it out loud, but they do use it.
No, if it's not spoken out loud, then it's not a rule that's used.
It's still justified as one though.
It was more like in your face back then. It was more like, are you darker than a brown paper bag? That determines whether how nice of a life that you can live. If you were darker than a paper bag, then you're black. You get the scrap. And to think of it, a lot of white people that lived in the U.S. actually do have a drop of black blood in them.
That's why I say the one drop rule can't be counted, because then when there are benefits for people of color who have, our black faces are what people see. Not that DNA that says, way back in the day, my great grandfather raped a slave ass type situation.
Because literally every single person that's ever that I've seen taken the Ancestry 23andMe, every single one of them has sub-Saharan African blood in them. So everybody has a drop of black blood in them.
Which
even
is why
people in Europe that never even came to America and was dealing with slaves. Everybody has African in them.
I'm not saying that's not true. I was just saying that they still use it today. But when you use that the ancestry.com situation or whatever, once people find out what they're mixed with, that's what people start going by anyway. So it's the same thing as if a white person find that out, they're going to start saying that they have black in them too. So they try to use that as excuse.
When have you seen that done? I've never seen, even when they say, I got black in me, the only person who I can think of is that girl who wanted to be she wanted to be black anyway. Before that whole situation, I can't remember her dumbass name, but I can see her with ghetto ass fingernails.
Oh, is it Woe Vicky?
Is that her?
Or Bad Baby? Which one?
One of the two of them who want to be black so bad, want to be the stereotype of what a black person would be, which is why I really don't fuck with them.
Did you see the video where she had like just a black older woman? She was like, "Oh, this is my grandma," and that lady's just sitting there like, "I don't know what's going on." I think she was probably getting paid. That's why she was just sitting there smiling, not knowing what was going on. She's like, "Why is this white girl telling people that she's
yeah, like, sweetie, we can look at you and tell there's no part of that that's your grandma." Okay.
How do you feel about like traveling while being black, and especially traveling while black while being a woman?
Driving while being a black woman, that's what you're asking.
Again, this has to more so phonetically, a lot of people don't see me at like, that's the thing. And especially when I'm because I'm bilingual, like I don't get the same reaction that a lot of people. It's the same thing. Like, I know that the cop situation in the US is detrimental, but I cannot say that I've had one bad situation with any cop that's not of, that was white. I've never had that. So it's the same thing with the traveling. Like, even when I go to other countries or I'm around other groups of people, I don't get the reaction that I know and I have seen other black women getting. But I'm also I never travel alone. So that could also be another thing that has to do with the whole dynamics of the situations that I deal with. I'm always with a group of people, so.
But I agree. I never had any problems while traveling when I'm black. I never had any problems either because I'm on vacation. What am I causing problems for?
I guess the better question I needed to ask is, are you guys feeling apprehensive about traveling outside of the US? And I'm not talking about like just we stay on a resort kind of thing. I'm talking about actually walking outside, dealing with their society and their culture. Like, how do you feel? Like, especially when you go to like China, like rural. We probably won't be going to rural China, but like outside the city, where they've never seen a black person before. Would you feel about like the stares and the pictures and just touching you and your hair?
I don't feel apprehensive about that. Only thing I would feel is that I don't want to do something wrong to offend them because I don't know like the whole rules and situation and the culture. That's the only thing that I fear about that. But other than that, I never, even when I went to Paris, I was never feeling apprehensive about that. And we weren't even in the predominantly black area. Like, I didn't feel any type of apprehension at all. Like, when we go to other places, I don't feel that at all. I just feel like I don't want to offend someone in their own culture because I'm ignorant towards their rules and how they do things. And that's the only thing. I'm a tourist, so, but I feel apprehensive at home. So it's like, that's just normal nature anyway for me. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I feel like I still gotta look behind my back because I don't know what's going on in the streets anyway. But
I feel more I'm going to go with what BBJ said. I feel more apprehensive at home than I do like when I'm on vacation from anywhere. And I'm going to say but he didn't have any of the issues that, some people on YouTube seem to have told about. So I don't know. I've never been to a place where, like, yeah, we visit Canada a lot and we were never on a resort or anything. We were there and I never felt like an outsider there. Nowadays, there's too much information out there for you to still be being offensive towards people. Like, you could, if you really want to, if you want to travel, understand the place's culture, look up some of the rules. It's not hard. We have a smartphone. Mm-hmm. Everybody has the information at their hands. If this was, again, 1992, 2002, not everybody has access to the information as easy as they do. But, You can go on YouTube and study for 2 hours and know majority of the social rules etiquette. So you do not, break most of them. And they'll know that you're a tourist. So some of the ones that aren't as familiar with tourists, What about you, Brisha? You asked a question, but I don't think that you said anything about traveling while Black.
Because that's a dream of mine. I would love to just, if I can somehow get paid to just travel, that would be a dream. And not like a travel where you go lay on the beach and you're relaxed. I'm talking about actually like integrate with the society.
Yes.
That's a dream of mine. I would really love to do that. But it's just like sometimes I kind of get scared because I don't know. I mean, I'm sure y'all would come with me, but y'all wouldn't come to every trip. If I say, y'all, let's go to Prague, y'all may not be like, what's Prague? I don't know what that is. Or I'd be like,
that would be my question. What the hell's in Prague that we want to do?
Let's
come up with a good, first of all, you already know how to get me excited. They have the best
like
blah,
food.
Blah, blah, food.
But then what if I go to countries that aren't like, I know you, Angel, and I know you, Simone. So I know what I need to do to
get us to go. So
right, but not all the countries have that.
I'm down to go to random countries though, because it's places in the U.S. I still want to travel to almost each state in the U.S. It's a lot of places in the U.S. that don't have, they're famous for something or whatever. It's a lot of boring states in the U.S., but I still want to visit just to say I visit.
Oh, are they? Damn, there's a lot of forgettable states in the U.S.
There's some states I would just choose not to go to.
But that's literally
is. Like, I don't need, for me, I don't need something, because I can always, I'm the party everywhere I go anywhere. I can find something to entertain myself anywhere I go. And it can be something that's, simple.
Not where my brother lives. You can't stay there long periods of time and be entertained the whole time. I promise you that. That was the longest week of my life.
But you see what I'm saying? You're able to say you went and did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I like to travel. So that's not hard.
I'm cool with going places that don't really have much to do. I can always find something to entertain myself, and I can always say, well, I went to such and such. I ain't really had nothing to do. It was boring as hell, but it was beautiful scenery. I can be able to say I went there and did this and this and this, and I still had a memory there from when I went. I'll never go back again, but I went.
But you know what else? I want to travel too, because I think that as Black people, we need to start branching out from just the U.S. The populations where there's a majority of Black people. I think we can there's a whole earth,
But I still
for us to be living in places where they don't accept us. It's just a whole world.
But I still
can just
feel
create our own thing.
No, I get what you're saying, but I still feel like the U.S. should be the start of a travel, because there's still some people that lived in that same state and never travel out of where they live from.
Honey, we live in Baltimore.
No, sometimes
for real though, do you know how many people have never left Baltimore?
Exactly.
My stepdad before he met my mom. My nigga, what?
My cousin, his first time getting on the plane was this year. His first time getting on the plane was from this year, and that's to go to Cali.
So he ain't even leave the state. I can't understand being over the age of 18 and not having a passport.
Well, I don't know if you got, it's baby steps. You know, hood guys.
Well, yeah, you can't go from Baltimore just to somewhere else random. You gotta give them little.
Yeah, you gotta do baby steps. But that's what I'm saying. For people who are of that age that can or wasn't able to, them leaving the state for the first time, where they live at, if they been living in Jersey or living in New York or living in here or wherever, and that first time coming to Baltimore or coming to, that's the same thing for when people that live in another state and they travel from that state to go to college out of state, that's their first time ever leaving the state and living somewhere else other than home. So it's a different experience for them, period.
I guess from being from foreigners, I don't get, the whole I want to stay here for the rest of my life, never see anything else.
I'm a different person, so I do nothing but move all the time. They lucky I ain't got enough money to be gone right now.
I can't understand it. I love to travel. 2020 was so hard because of that. I can't travel. Bitch, what you mean I can't travel? That's like telling the drug addict they can't do drugs. That's just
we got off the topic. I'm gonna go ahead and end it off right here. But I appreciate everyone. Thanks for listening today. Please like, comment what ideas you would like to hear us talk about, and share. See you next time. Peace out.
Bye.